What's up, Bradford? You there?
I'm here.
Hey, we waiting on Jamie. I think he's on here shortly. Yep, he's coming on right now.
Oh, where did my backdrop go? Yeah, it was on here before.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
We were blessed. How about y'all?
Man, living a dream, man, living a dream.
Afternoon, Jamie.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Appreciate
yeah.
you, appreciate you jumping on.
No problem. You're gonna write me a $1,742 check. Is that why you have that in the background?
No, but you got good vision with those glasses, don't you?
All right.
That was our last Homes for Heroes person we sold.
Okay.
So, what's new in your world?
I just took a listing today. Just kind of normal. The normal stuff, man.
Yeah, EXP's doing some good things.
Yes, we are.
For
Always,
sure.
always in some good things.
Let's you want to go ahead and get us
Yeah.
started off?
Let's go ahead. Let's get started. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what's up, everybody? My name is Josh Winger. I'm your five-star realtor with Page Properties team, brokered by EXP. We got a special guest, Jamie Parker, EXP Icon agent in Atlanta, Georgia. We actually met this year at the Atlanta rally. How you doing, Jamie?
I am blessed and highly favored. How about you, Josh?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I believe you was a guest speaker as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. And I can't forget my team lead, Bradford Page with Page Properties team. How you doing, Bradford?
Doing great, Joshua. Great to be on here.
Awesome, awesome. Listen, y'all. So, Jamie, can you share with us your journey and your experience in real estate over the past 15 years? I mean, how did you get to that icon status in EXP?
Well, it's been a journey.
Yeah.
Life is a journey. I started out as a school teacher. I did taught public school for 17 years and did real estate part-time for 7 of those 17 and a half years. And, sometimes you just find your calling. I was really great at teaching, but I also loved doing real estate. And that's pretty much how it all started. And so during that part-time, during that quote unquote those part-time years, yeah, I had to do a lot of HUD homes. There weren't a lot of listings. I got my license in 2007. You know what happened.
Oh yeah.
What happened around that time. So I had to decide like what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. So I would come home from my full-time job, then go do real estate, and then stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning. Then wake up, I'll do it all over again the next day. Yeah. So like one house my first year, then so like 4 houses my second year, and then started finally, that second year I was selling the people that at my school, and just kind of started snowballing from there until I sold 23 my last year teaching with a full-time job.
Yeah.
So imagine how crazy that would have been. So, the journey has been like a lot of work. It's been like people look at now, you're like, oh man, you're that icon, and yeah, man, it must be so awesome. What have you?
Overnight success.
Yes, I know. It's just like that, but they don't see the 18-hour days that we put in. I don't thankfully have to do that anymore. But thank you a lot of part to EXP, getting so many referrals. I've had 2 referral listings from agents from around the country just over the last week, for different parts of town. So I'm very, very blessed to be on this journey. I've gone through what I went through to get to where I'm at right now. So I did the hard work. I did talking to 100 people a day. I've done that before. Yes, I've actually talked to 100 people in a day before. Ooh, that's a super exhausting. I would never want to do
You
that
hit that
again.
number yet, Joshua?
I would not choose to do that again.
For sure. I know that was definitely an experience. And at the recent regional rally in Atlanta, you was a guest speaker, as I previously said. Can you share us what you talked about, your key things that you share with your audience?
Sure. Some of what we talked about is really just focusing on your fundamentals. The first fundamental being be accessible. Like pick up your phone, answer texts.
Yeah. Hello.
If you can't grab the phone call, text them back. We all have these nice, nifty little things in our phones. Can't talk right now with a client. Message them back. so many times we can't reach agents that we need to get information from. I'm thinking of one particular situation right now where I have someone who wants to buy some property, and this agent has just been so slow in responding. And I'm just that I probably need to reach out to them again today. But gosh, it's like, man, this is actually his own personal place. You would just think you'd want to kind of be on it like white on rice, but just the response times. So response times are key. Return your phone calls, pick up your phone, check your voicemail, listen to your voicemail every day. People actually still do leave voicemails. So listen to it, because you never know what's going to be on there. I had a listing opportunity on my voicemail the other day. What if I had not listened to it?
Yeah. Yeah, really doing the
Okay.
the simple things, the
Mm-hmm.
make the bigger things pop out, as in, the consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Good habits leads to your destiny. You know what I'm saying? Your thought,
Exactly.
good habits
Exactly.
to your destiny. And I
I
definitely
like
agree
I,
with
li- I like to think of those slow agents, Jamie, that don't get back to you as a blessing for those of us who do
Yeah.
get back with people, because they make us look awful good. But
yeah.
it's amazing how many people have that issue. And I get it, life gets in the way. But how do you? It's a question a little bit off script, Joshua, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Uh, what made you stay with it through all that you went through? I mean, obviously, I'm sure there were times where you sat there at 11 o'clock at night or 1 in the morning going, what the hell am I doing this all for? So what was it? What was your why that made it all worthwhile?
Well, I just had a child, and honestly, I wanted to give my family options. Like the kid's mom, I wanted to make sure if she did want to stay home, that she would have that option. So that is what drove me. Eventually, she did have that option. When we had the second one, she did stay home. So I had to make up her salary. She was a school teacher. I had to make up her salary. So I just had to keep plugging and working. It just I focused on the real estate so I can make up that salary so we can have food on the table, and we could do. I still kept my job during that time, but wanted to make sure that I gave my family the right kind of flexibility and giving them a life. I had seen what other people do. They're able to take their kids traveling. They're able to do things, and I was like, well, why can't we have that? Why can't why is only like that this person have that? Why can't we have that same thing? It wasn't really about necessarily about money, but as Zig Ziglar says, money ranks right up there with air. It's kind of important.
Yeah, time and freedom is all.
Exactly, exactly. So having that freedom, having that freedom to be able to do things for my family, and I'll just use yesterday as an example. It's my daughter's 18th birthday. I was able to do
Congratulations.
stuff for her. I was able to take her to wherever she wanted to go. She wrote this. It's pretty crazy. She wrote this whole list for me of every place that's offering free stuff on your birthday, from Crumble Cookie to Alt
Cool.
to Flora. Oh my gosh, she had me. She doesn't drive yet, so she had me. She had me just running all afternoon. But what if I had a job? What if I was still at school and I was a teacher, and I
Yeah.
want people to have those experiences? I'll have to go when we're done with this. I'll go pick her up. I only have 9 more days left of doing that, and then she's done. And,
Hmm.
but just, being able to enjoy those times. I mean, those are the things those are priceless. You can't like put a dollar figure
Oh,
on those things. So that's what,
going going
that's what kept me
going
going.
the 18 once. You don't get a do
Yeah.
over if you screw it up.
No,
So
you don't. 18's a big birthday, that she's
no,
going to be.
that's awesome. And I'm sure in here Joshua wants to talk to you about how about more EXP and what it's done for you, and
Sure.
maybe who you were with originally.
Hmm. You want me to go? You want me to answer all
Yeah,
that now?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
sure.
Just
Go ahead.
we
So
just ramble here sometimes. There's no
yeah,
set
yeah.
agenda.
Just making sure there's a question in there.
It was a deep in the clause questioning. But yeah, for sure. So tell us, where did you really from? Like,
Mhm.
how did you get into EXP?
Well, the whole journey is I got into real estate, to allow eventually my family to stay home, right? To be a stay-at-home mom. And so I started with this really small company back in 2007 called Georgia Realty Network, which of course they no longer exist. But after I did my first deal, I was like, well, I really don't know what I'm doing, and I really didn't get a lot of help. So I had to figure out some other way to do this. And I went to a discount brokerage called Solid Source, which has just been bought out by HomeSmart. I think they bought out HomeSmart or somebody. They were just bought out by
Comes my
somebody.
agent down here. We're trying to help her see the value.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Great person, by the way, too. So
Yeah, yeah. That went over there, and then Keller Williams came knocking on the door and wined and dined me. And you got to think about this. I'm a school teacher, and they're offering me airfare and hotel and everything to go out to Austin, Texas. I was like, you're paying for me to go fly somewhere, and like, man, you felt like a big shot, you
yeah,
know?
that's awesome.
Because I'm just a school teacher. But I was doing really well at so I was top 25 at Solid Source with a full-time job.
For
So
sure.
they were came knocking on my door. So in 2011, I signed up I switched over to Keller. Um, then they showed me how to get into real estate full time. Like, what would that transition look like? You know, and went from there. And then say 7 years later, I was starting to get a little discontent. I mean, I had some great years over there. I think my best year over there, I did about 9.1 million was my best year there. But I started feeling like, well, what do I really need them for?
Yeah.
What do I really need them for as far as this was right around December time, and my cap would get a restart in January. And I just started thinking, it's like, oh, I don't want to do this all over again. And I wasn't excited about stuff. I mean, granted, I was making multiple six figures, is great. However,
It was a routine. It
it
was
was
a
just a
yeah,
routine, and
over
it
and
was only
over.
one way on how to do real estate. You did it
Yeah,
the red book way, and that's the way you did it, and that's the way everybody did it, and this is the way it works. And yeah, I'm not that guy who loves to sit in an office from 8 to 10 making phone calls. That feels like a job. I didn't sign up for this to have a job. If I wanted a job, I'd still be in the classroom. That's a job. I like this because I can go out and meet people and be with the people and all that stuff. I'm not saying I never make phone calls, y'all, but
yeah,
I am saying I'm not that guy you're gonna see it on my calendar, 8 to 10, make phone calls. 1 o'clock, have an appointment.
yeah. But you've been there and done that, so
Yeah,
made that
I'm not
transition.
that guy.
Yep.
Um, so when I decided when some friends talked to me about EXP the first time, I said no. And I bleed red and black. I'm never leaving Keller Williams. It's an amazing company, yada, yada, yada. A few months later, another one of my buddies talked to me about EXP. And I said, same thing. And he said, can't you just like look at it just for me? It's me, man. We go on vacation together. We've known
Right.
each other for years. I was like, all right, I'll look at it for you, Pete. Looked at it. And then he told me one of my mentors, Robin Kim Campbell, were coming out of real estate retirement to help launch EXP in Atlanta. I was like, okay, you could have just started there. If you just started there, I would have jumped on.
Yeah.
Because one thing I know is they know how to they always have the pulse of everything that's going on. And if they're doing something, I need to do what they're doing because they're in a much different spot than where I'm at. I do well, they are exceptional. I do well, they're exceptional. So I want to follow success leaves clues. So I wanted to follow the clues that were being left. So I switched to EXP in January of 18 and haven't looked back since then. Never regret a single day. It's literally changed my family's life. It's changed their my kids' future
Yeah.
is is totally different. My production, I think I did 16.8 last year. I had one year I did 17.2, so I've been averaging about 15 probably since over the last 5 or 6 years, about 15 million on average. That beats 9 million, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So EXP unleashed the Kraken.
Unleash the Kraken, and for example, 13 incoming referrals last year. 13 already last week, including today, 2 listing agreements taken. That's going to be about almost $1.1 million in listings that have come in just in the last week. And this wasn't even on the workplace page. These were just phone calls. They came into me directly. This
That's
wasn't uh, this wasn't me going to try to put my name in the hat.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's earned by building a reputation, so people
right.
know who you are.
Right. And I'm not gonna lie, being a five-time icon does help. I mean, when they're
Yeah,
looking for
sure.
workplace from an Atlanta agent and they see five-time icon, that definitely helps.
But the whole process of doing referrals in EXP is so simple and
Yeah.
easy with
Yes.
that app you have there and follow up. I used to do relocation for years.
Hmm.
Paperwork and follow up was a
Hmm.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
EXP's just simplified it so much. It's amazing. Yeah.
That they have. So I definitely enjoy everything that EXP does, and that we are so agent focused and agent centric, and everything is about the agents. Everything is about how can I sell more houses? What can they do to make my job easier, to make it more streamlined, or to give me even other opportunities, other options, and other things that I can do that are going to add value to me, which then in turns add the value to my family.
Such as speaking at our regional rally and
Yeah, yeah. Like imagine me being like I can't imagine like at a Keller Williams you'd ever get an opportunity like to do that. I was just on Glenn Sanford's podcast in March.
Yeah.
bravo. That's
I
awesome.
mean, imagine me trying to get 30 minutes with Gary Keller. Hey Gary, can I get 30 minutes with you? You'd be like, who are you? Or
Probably when
Dave.
you, yeah, probably when you go visit him at his funeral or something, you might get that time.
Yeah,
I mean, Keller
exactly.
Williams, great company.
No, no, and I'm not criticizing them at
Training
all.
there is fabulous.
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
built some
absolutely.
amazing agents and some amazing teams, and then a lot of them are seeing that there's other ways to do things, which
Yes, there is, and just an interaction yesterday that I had with Leo Pareja, our new CEO. Literally, I was been workplacing with him on some stuff, and he's super responsive. Like as soon as I sent him a message, within probably yesterday, within a minute, I had a message back from them. We're talking the CEO of the entire company,
yeah.
Wow.
dealing with whatever we were, him and I have been talking about a couple things and just working on those things, and him actually helping me with some stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
a lot of people ask with EXP, we only have one broker in the state. Isn't that hard to get a hold of them? And I was like, no, it's easier for me to get a hold of our Georgia State broker than it is to, and I love my brokers. They were local, they were right here, but it's easier for me to get a hold of
mhm.
her than it ever was my previous brokers. And
Yeah.
here you are talking to, high level executives, and with all the technology we have and
Mhm.
all that connection, it's amazing. And I guess
Yeah.
one of the coolest things for me was what just happened. Well, it didn't just happen yesterday, but they just announced it yesterday with the
Mhm.
changes to the revenue share program.
Mhm.
So it sounds to me, reading between the lines, is they weren't giving away enough of their money. So they had to find ways to make sure that they spread it out because the commitment is 50% of every company dollar gets shared to the agents. And
Mhm.
that's above and beyond whatever you do in your real estate business, 16 million, 9 million, 1 million, whatever. You're
Mhm.
above and beyond that. The commitment is 50%. And here they are, they find out, well, things are shifting a little bit, it's a little bit different. Let's, make sure we're spreading that around. And I'm very
Mhm.
impressed with how quick Glenn and his team are to, shifting gears to make things work even better for agents.
That's right. And the thing I think about, with the agents that I have on board, and again, if you do the whole KW to EXP comparison, KW started this. I still get a little bit of profit share, a little bit. KW just cut our profit share significantly, that down to like 5% instead of 95%, instead of 100% of what we would have earned for agents who had left. So I think that's kind of like a bait and switch a little bit. Hey, you promised me this, and now you're not going to do this anymore. Wait a minute. You know,
Yeah, I was talking to someone who's got a leadership position in KW still right now, and he was sharing that change with me, and he's not super excited about it.
no, no, because I mean, imagine what if they only had one or two people that were actually making any significant money. But imagine what that just did to those one or two people. Like
Mhm.
some of those one or two are actually here at EXP, some of our top people. But imagine what that just did to them by making that shift. And then the other thing when I compare, um, I think I made $400 in profit share last month at KW. So I still have a couple baller agents who I don't know why they haven't come to us yet, but whatever. And they just haven't. By comparison, I know we're not supposed to say what we make with EXP, but it's significantly more
Yeah, amen.
and what we make in revenue share here. Because what happens is when they need to buy a copy machine, their profit goes down. So every little office expense affects the profitability of the office. And imagine how easy that is to switch things on a spreadsheet around. And that you have too many expenses, there's no profit. So there's I like that we get paid first. We are thought about first before any expenses, before anything happens, that we are rewarded for our loyalty. We are rewarded for helping the company grow and rewarded in a meaningful way that's consistent.
Well, I was talking to Joshua about it yesterday because we got that email from Glenn and
Mhm.
everybody announcing the changes. And not only that, they said, so if Joshua gets his check on a Friday, then his revenue share partners are getting that money's available to them on Friday as well, which
Yeah,
didn't
it's pretty
always used to
huge.
be the case. So they're always trying to make it, push button easy and quick. And if you need that money and you want to have it in your account, you pick up your phone, push a button, pay $1, and the money's
Mhm.
there. So, and it's not $400, I promise you.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. No, it's a lot more than that,
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure. So let's dive into a little topic since we just talked about EXP's model with revenue shares. What about the commission settlement? I mean, what are some of the challenges you're facing, Jamie, in negotiating your contracts with potential buyer agents if you're listing home?
I have not had to, fortunately, do a whole lot different at this juncture, but I can talk to you about what I am saying and what I am doing.
Yeah.
I did have one. I'll just use this. I did have one that I went on right as this all hit the fan, and I did not get it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get everything I go to. I get most of what I go to, but I don't always
Mm,
get everything. I don't think it was another EXP incoming referral from a California agent. And I don't think he realized that they had already talked to other agents.
yeah.
Apparently he didn't. But I went in there and immediately they didn't even know me. They didn't even talk to me. First thing on the text message, will you do 3%? That would like they don't know anything about me. We haven't done anything. We haven't talked. We haven't seen presentation, nothing. That was their first question. And of course, I'm not going to answer that via text message. We're going
Mm,
to talk about that. When I did my listing this morning, and as I was explained, the good thing is Georgia has always had good forms. And so the
mm,
forms have always explained what it is. Of as long as you just explain the form, pretty much you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
yeah.
So
All those changes they do every year that we always complain about, having to take a new class and learn the
yeah,
new
they
forms,
protect us.
it's actually been a good thing. They
Yeah,
really have.
yeah, absolutely. They do protect us.
For
What I
sure.
what I told them is in this case this morning, remember let me put disclaimer here, all commissions are negotiable. There is no set fee set by EXP or any other real estate company for that matter that they have to do a certain amount, or at least I'm not aware of any companies that had said that, major companies. I
Yeah.
talked to them about what my commission was, which in this case I told them 3%. And out of that 3%, I told them, here's the deal. I'm taking a gamble on your property. Okay. I am not charging you for pictures. I'm not charging you for marketing. I pay for all of that up front before I ever get paid. I'm investing in your property. I have skin in this game. I'm not just coming here to sign a piece of paper so I can put a sign in your yard. I have some skin in this game. So it does, I don't actually get to keep 3%. I'd be super nice, but I don't actually get to, I take the expenses out of that 3%. Then I said, now we got to talk about the buyer's agents. You have the option of as to offer nothing to them or offer something to them. If you offer nothing, what will likely happen is your house will not get shown as much because the people who are, especially in this house is not it's going to be a 330, which is right in that starter home
Mhm.
FHA buyer price point. I said most of the people who are going to be looking at your home are probably going to be FHA buyers, and they barely have enough for the down payment, let alone to pay the buyer's agent fee and pay their representation. I suggest that you offer this, and we talked about what the options were. They did settle on 3%, but they made that decision. I did not make that decision. No, I did tell them what I recommended. I'm not gonna say I didn't recommend, but it was not my decision. It was their decision. They understood in full transparency what was going to, how we're paid and how all this was going to happen. Thankfully, they did decide on what I recommended,
Mhm.
and it will be, a full 3% for in this particular listing for the buyer's agent, which will hopefully that'll hopefully get the maximum amount of people coming in and looking at the homes and all of that. So that is how I handled it. Hopefully I handled it right.
Now you did, because I feel like you talked to them up front about it. I think
Yeah.
some agents are afraid to have that conversation up front and then later try to squeeze it in there. But you made it, like you said, transparency and had clarity with the conversations with your clients, and that's how you presented them that standard to solve their issues that they had. Because again,
Exactly.
they was trying to tell you what to do, but he was like, "No, let me direct you, show you all your options, and then you decide how you can fix your pain points and how I can assist you."
Mhm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Jamie, with all your experience, what advice would you give a newer agent who's starting their career in real estate?
Pick up the phone,
Yeah.
talk to people. Don't be a secret agent. Just because you're brand new and haven't sold a house yet doesn't mean you can't leverage the power of the company behind you. So if I'm a brand new agent, hey Josh, this is Jamie. Hey, and go ahead. Let's have a little conversation here. Hey Josh, this is Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, I've got some exciting news for you, man.
All right, what's up? Tell me.
I've had my real estate license for a minute, and I've just decided I've just joined one of the most successful teams in the entire Atlanta area. I'm super excited. And guess what?
What?
You're accepting new clients.
Hmm.
Do you know anyone who's thinking about buying and selling or investing in real estate in the next 90 days that you could refer over to us? I'm super excited about my new team and my new group, and I would love to work. I would love to work with you. I'd love to work with anybody you refer to us.
Yeah.
Mm, That's a pretty easy.
Yeah, easy
Hey,
for a
That's a
easy,
pretty
script.
simple
easy. That's a pretty
conversation.
easy script, and it sounds authentic. It doesn't sound scripty.
For sure. For sure. So get
Having
started.
conversations like that, it takes all the guesswork out of everything. You're not going to get referrals from everybody. I'm about pretty sure if you talk to five people and have that conversation, you're probably going to get at least somebody give you at least one name out of five conversations, or maybe you have to have 10 to get that one name. But I think statistically speaking, and NAR says there was at least 5 or 6 people a year that are moving, like offhand. I
Mhm.
think that's what the statistics or something, somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
So everybody knows somebody. We just have to prompt them. Hey Josh, do you I know you work over at Home Depot in the Home Depot corporate office. What about some of the girls that work there, or some of or the office manager, or some of the other employees? What about anybody in IT? Have you heard of anything? Anybody in IT maybe thinking they're wanting to make a move, maybe over to Johns Creek where all the technology stuff is, to be around other techie people? Have you have you heard anything? People talking about that? Just asking probing questions like that, because that will then put it in their reticular activator. And then the next time they're out and about in the office and doing things, oh yeah, so and so was looking for yeah, yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna call Josh. Because Johnny just said he was thinking about making a move.
Mhm.
The other thing, as a new agent, don't like work. I'm in my house right now because we're doing this podcast, but don't, if you're doing computer work or even you're making phone calls, go out. Do not stay in your house. Put an EXP Realty sticker on your laptop and go sit in Panera. I'm not gonna say I've gotten closings from sitting in Panera and doing work, but what I am gonna say is I'm getting a lot of branding, because people will see me and I'll have conversations. I just talked to a KW agent there that I'll have a meeting with in June. Yeah, we've known each other for a gazillion years. But that was a conversation that happened because I was sitting in Panera with my computer, choosing to work there instead of working where I'm very comfortable right here. This is my dining room table for whatever I like it. I like it better than my office. I I feel much more comfortable working here, but I force myself to go out so I can be visible and so I can be seen. Of course, that also means you have to dress nice and you have to look the part as well. But going out and keeping yourself out there, I think is super important. No one's gonna know who you are if they don't even know what you do.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting in your house all day, no one's gonna. I mean, it is easier. I love to do property searches at home, and I love to sit here and be in shorts and a t-shirt, and I could do all that. I could do all the same work. I could do all that right here in shorts and a t-shirt at my table.
Yeah.
I can. But being out gets you those touch points and those connections. Whether it's, I saw one of my son's friends' parents the other day at Panera. Again, just that quick 3 or 4 minute conversation. It's keeping me top of mind. It helps you to stay top of mind with people. And when you stay top of mind, you're much more likely when they hear their friend is going to move, you're much more likely to get a call from them. They guess they just saw you out. They just had a conversation with you, and they know what you do.
Yeah.
And they always ask about the market. How's the market? Have any of your friends ask, how's the market? Everyone wants to know how the market is.
Yeah. And last question, Jamie, before we go, and that's what I was kind of going to get to. So how do you see, what significant factors or trends that may impact the real estate market in your area, and how are you planning to address them?
I think just having correct conversations with your new buyers and
Uh-huh.
even your sellers. These new regulations, I think, are going to impact, unfortunately, your FHA and your VA buyers probably the most. And those are typically in your average or below average price points because they won't have the money to pay a commission to a buyer's agent. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to really look at how to have these conversations and even how to negotiate. Now you've got to not negotiate just the price of the house, but now you've got to negotiate. You may have to negotiate the commission on the house
Yeah.
if you're a buyer's rep. We have to learn what we're going to have to do in those cases. Back in the day with HUD, we used to actually do that on the HUD auction site. You actually could write down, you could get up to a 5% commission at that point, but they were only looking at the bottom line.
Mm.
So you may have to, so as an agent, in that particular case, I had to make a judgment. Do I ask for the full 5? Do I ask for 4? Part of my winning is I had to kind of strategize where I thought things were, whether I could get the full amount or not get the full amount.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
it's
my
really
kid's
hard because
birthday
you don't
is
want to
my
be the
kid's
reason they
birthday
don't get
coming
it.
up? Yeah, it was my kid's birthday coming up next week. I need to go out and buy some stuff for her.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I need to take a little hit here.
Yeah, you don't want to be the reason that your client doesn't get the house, right? You
Yeah,
don't want to be that. You don't want to be that person.
for
So I
sure.
think just being comfortable with the conversations and also being comfortable with your worth, especially if you're on the buyer's agent side, what you're able to do, why you're important, and being able to explain why you're important to the process. You're just as important as an attorney.
Yeah.
You represent, I mean, would you go to court and go unrepresented and have to face an attorney on the other side and you're the defendant? Of course not. You wouldn't do that. That's crazy. Same thing in this market. We have to explain to the buyers, you don't want to go try to do this transaction on your own with someone who is already represented.
Yeah,
And
especially someone that's never bought a home before.
yeah,
That's,
exactly.
that's so
And they have
scary.
someone, the seller already has somebody on their side that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to have someone on your side that knows what they're doing to make the best decision, so that you can make not only the best decision on the house, negotiate properly, make sure contracts are done right, and all of those things. So
And the
those are the
value of
things.
a buyer's agent to a seller is huge as well,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you want to make sure this thing closes. And the more people
Right,
you
right.
work to make it happen, the better.
Everybody has the same interest in this. Josh, you're selling your house. Bradford has a buyer that wants to buy your house. we all have the same interest, which is getting the deal done, getting the buyer what he wants, getting the seller what he wants. So I think we're just gonna have to learn how to all play together in a different way than what we're used to. And it's gonna weed out a lot of people because some of these people are not gonna want to have these conversations. They're not gonna want to have these are uncomfortable conversations to some degree.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about money.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you
talking
just need,
about my
you-
self-worth.
yeah,
You
you
know,
hit it right on the head with it. Your what value are you providing?
mhm.
So if you can't look in the mirror and say, I provide value to my clients and identify what that is, then yeah, you need to go back to doing something else.
For sure.
Exactly.
For
You know,
sure.
and
And
that's
thank
true
you.
of anything in life. That's not just real estate. That's
Yeah,
anything you're doing.
I
So
agree.
And
amen.
yeah. So, Jamie, how can the people get in touch with you?
Oh, lots of different ways. Of course, you can follow me on social media, Jamie Parker Realtor on Instagram. You can check me out there. My cell phone number is 404-483-7816. I serve Metro Atlanta, and by license in South Carolina as well. Of course, I serve all of Georgia, but you guys do your end as well. You know, we're all Georgia agents here.
All
But
right.
that's where I can be reached again, 404-483-7816. And yes, I do return phone calls and text in an expeditious manner.
Well, thank you so much, Jamie Parker, icon agent with EXP in Atlanta, Georgia. Again, our podcast is sponsored by Page Properties Team, the Dream E.N.T, Real Estate for a Reason, and make real estate fun again. And again, huge shout out to KGCI Real Estate on Air for the collaboration with the Dream Builders podcast, where our mission is to help buyers, sellers, agents, nonprofits, and small businesses connect with the resources and the knowledge to achieving their goals. Again, thank you, Jamie, for coming on the Dream Builders podcast. I look forward to seeing you at the next rally and maybe EX Pecan
Yes,
here this
sir.
year as well.
All right, we'll do it.
Thank you
Awesome.
very
You have
much.
a wonderful
Appreciate your
day.
time.
Bye, y'all.
All right.
All right, peace.